Hello, hello, hello. This is Mima, and I've been working on this. How are you guys doing? Okay, first thing I have to do, hope you're all doing well. I get up this morning, well, I got up yesterday morning. I said, I can't get around, so I had to rest yesterday. And today I got up this morning. I said, oh, it's a beautiful day. The temperature had dropped to the high today of 88, which is like a cool front. So I went out and watered some in the yard. And then I thought, I better get in here and get this started, and so I can get it finished. Well, it is now huge. It's about half the size of my full bed. So I decided, it's about time for me to figure out how big it's supposed to be for a twin-size bed. So I looked it up and it said 81 by 96, and that's with a 20-inch drop. So I'm assuming 20 each drop, that means 10, and how about the foot? I mean, is that, I don't understand. I don't understand. So what I'm going to do, lay it on my bed and figure out, try to measure it that way. And then, so what I did, is I started with block, I'll put the picture up. But I started out with just a granny square, an infinity granny square in this material here. Let's see, can you see the square? Okay, and then I put black around it, the shiny black, and then I put more squares, kept making it larger, and then finally I added this different color in here to make the square be true. Do you see it? Can't you see it? I don't know if I can get it far enough back for you to see. But anyway, it's there. And so then I added 13 inches to each side. To one side and then the opposite side. So it made it long. So on the end, I just went back and forth for 11, 12 rows. And then the same on the other side. And didn't add anything on the other two sides of the square. So then after I did that, and I got all the inches I thought I needed, then I started with going back to the same yard that I had started with. And when I did that and started going around and around, in the triangle shape with the box in the center and then two lines, it looked like water waves. It's so beautiful. I couldn't believe it. Again, I'll tell you how, I went again put a picture. But the colors began to develop. The larger, the more times I went around, all of a sudden this pattern started to show with this yarn. And it's beautiful. I didn't expect this. So I wanted to share with you. This is the Neon Stripe by Red Hearts. This is the Super Saver size. But I'm just really excited about the way it looks like strokes of paint all the way around it, staggering. It's really a soothing kind of flow of the colors around that initial granny square. Eventually, the infinity granny square. I know this is confusing to you, and I know it is. But anyway, that's what I'm doing now, is I'm continuing on until I get ready to decide where I'm going to put the border. Because I want this shining black border of the shining white yarn, which is black. But it's shiny. Can you see how shiny it is? So this is what I want to finish as the edge. And then I thought maybe, I hadn't done tassels in a long time. I wondered what it looked like with tassels. Remember the old tassels that we used to put on our shawls back in the 70s? Do you remember how I don't know if they use tassels anymore, but I thought that might be really pretty. And she's using it as a bed cover. And I wonder if that black dangling down around the bed would look pretty. We'll see how that works. But that's an idea. The other idea was to just make it look like lace around. And again, the final idea, the third one, was just to continue on with the black as long as I can around the edges, and we'll just see where it falls. But it really has changed. The color combinations have really changed into this beautiful pattern. Can't tell in this, but the one that I will put up, you'll see the pattern developing around the square. But guys, by doing this, I've learned some things about black yarn, working with the dark colors and the light colors, And I think that lighting is very, very, very important. And know your pattern. Know what stitch you're using. Be familiar with it in case you have to take it out. And use markers. I did notice with the multicolored and the black, sometimes I don't know where I am in the pattern. Like if you're going around the granny square after you've made a rectangle, then you're going around just in rectangle. And I find that I turn around. If I put it down, I pick it back up, somehow or another, I turn around. Now, normal people wouldn't do that, but I have, and then had to catch myself, and then unravel, pull out the yarn. But I also have learned that using the neck light has really helped, because the overhead light here is just not bright enough for me to see my stitches after a while, because they're dark. And I know you can't understand that unless you're working with black. And the colors sort of cheer us up as we go through the pattern after we've looked at it. But I get the light overhead, the light around the neck. I think it'd be cool if you had one of those miner's lights. You know what I mean? One of those lights that set on a band or has a light on it. Or maybe a cap, baseball cap that's got the lights underneath. Have you seen those? Those are cool. I can see that would be a wonderful way to crochet, in the dark, not in the dark, but using this dark colors. I do notice that a different light bulb I used in the other light stand over there, it glared on this black. And when it glared, I couldn't see it at all. So, lighting is really important working with black. Again, the familiar with the stitch itself. And also, I do believe if you have something light underneath, you see better. Like this yellow, for instance. Of course, you would use white probably, lay white down when you're crocheting. Anything white. And you could also see the pattern, the stitches better. So that might be another option, is that. But I found with the markers, I couldn't find the markers. They were so colorful, just like the patterns. So I decided that I just wouldn't do that. So I used safety pins, and I put a little sticky note kind of thing on it. It wasn't really a sticky note. You've seen those, the little things. And but then they fell off. I said, that's not going to work. So then I used the little clips that you can buy. They're different colors, and they hold paper together. I don't have one right here because I'll tell you the truth, I couldn't find it in here. But anyway, you just snap it on and you can write a note or whatever. But working with black has definitely been a little bit of a challenge. I did use a lid crochet needle. I wish I should have shown you all this stuff. Anyway, the crochet needle, its light shines right down on there. So it brings your attention completely down to the point where you're crocheting. The only thing about the lit crochet hook, or the one that has the light in the end of it, it's hard for me to hold. There's something about the way it's made. I don't know quite what it is, but it's my hands. Probably you would love it. You would love it. Don't let me badmouth it just because it doesn't work for my hands. But that would be a really good option in the black. Do you have problems with black yarn? Working on it? You know, I made a pair of those half gloves. You know that just cover from here down and have your thumbs exposed and your fingers. And then I put black lace here on these half gloves. And then I put black lace on the bottom. And it's all black. Now that one was more of a challenge because I had to, you know, it was smaller. And also it was just solid black. You really had to see what you were doing when you were working on that. But I sent the picture of where I am right now on this twin bed cover to Barbara, and so that Morgan looked at it, and of course she loved it. So it made me feel good that at least what I was working on for them was beginning to come together where she could see what it looks like, even though it's for her birthday. Now, I said her birthday was in June. It's in August. So, but I'm going to try to finish this as soon as I get the black trim. I think the black trim is, whatever it is I use, it's going to be difficult for me to see, but I think it'll be well worth it as a border on this. But it's going to be 86 by 91, if I measure it right. Have you ever had a tape measure? I had a tape measure. Let me tell you, I got to tell you a story. I had a tape measure. I measured everything off. And I was getting ready to move into the new trailer. No, it wasn't the trailer. It was my house up in the hills. And so I was trying to see, you know, what size everything was. My furniture, my windows. And I said, you know, these measurements just don't seem right. When I wrote them all down, you know, drew a picture of a couch and said it's 120 by 10 or whatever, you know. And what I'd been doing is using a tape measure. A whole foot had been cut off the end of it. So instead of 1, it started at 13. Well, I never noticed. I just used that as the end and used the other number. Not thinking about this number at all on the beginning. So don't do that. Okay? Don't do that. But I did. I measured everything in that house with that tape measure with a foot off of it and didn't even realize it. I think my sister kept, you know, we were talking about something, and she says, that couch doesn't look that big to me. And I said, well, that's what it measured, just suck. And so I pulled that thing out there, and she says, this tape measure's got a foot cut off of it. So everything was a foot longer, a foot wider, a foot taller. Oh, well, that's about funny for today. I'm going to leave right now on this so I can continue on here. If you think I think I will try. I don't know. It's according to how much yarn it'll take, because I may have to make the fringe out of a different color than the black that I think would be pretty. But I know I like the black as the border, either in fringe or, you know, a lacy fringe, or what I call those things, you know, where you make them in the dangle down. Oh, Oh, I've been having a couple of days that's been sort of funny. But anyway, that's my story for today. What are we doing with black? How do we do with black? Pointers for using black, and I need some advice on what y'all have done with black. I think people have already talked to me. Some of the subscribers have already mentioned the black and working with it. But I think that counting stitches is really difficult, and some markers are easy. Of course, you don't have to count stitches, not unless you want to on the granny squares. That's what I think on the granny square extensions. But anyway, I do believe this yarn is creating a really pretty pattern, and I'll post the picture. And hope you're having a good day, and happy Father's Day for everyone out there that's a papa or a grandpapa, you know, all those categories of papas and daddies. And have a wonderful Daddy's Day. And if you're alone, just think about the happy memories. And if you didn't have any happy memories, I don't know. You just have to carry on. Remember, God has you, and you in his hands. And pray. Now, he doesn't squish you. No, no, no. I mean, remember, he has you in his hands. And pray for Mother Earth and our bees. And yes, I am praying for bees. I have to tell you the story about my green beans. It's so fun. Oh, well, I'll carry it on another day. It's already 16 minutes into this. So carry on. Keep in touch. And I'll talk to you later. Another day.